This webinar I'm going to be mainly sharing my own journey with mindfulness and meditation and how it's helped me and the obstacles that I come upon. I tried many techniques, and my main motivation originally was just to feel some peace, I guess. I was always quite a sensitive child, and I wanted just to be more peaceful in myself. So I started meditating when I was 14. And we were living in the north of Norway at the moment, and I just managed to find a book about it in the local bookshop. This was a long time ago, 50 years ago actually. And nobody else did any that kind of thing. But I've always been interested in unusual things and the mysterious, and especially exploring our inner worlds. So I started meditating. I felt that was really the perfect thing for me. And I got more and more into it. My mom even got worried about me because I spent so much time meditating. And I guess I got more introverted in a way, but for me it felt really good. It gave me more inner peace. And eventually when we moved back to Sweden, when I was 16, I started taking more courses in meditation, and I eventually decided to move to a monastery and meditate full time for the rest of my life. Actually, that was the idea, but it didn't turn out that way. So what was this meditation about? Yeah. I can say it's a kind of mindfulness, this meditation. It was transcendental meditation. But as you hear from the name, transcendental, you transcend. When you do that meditation, you kind of go beyond. The idea is to get enlightened by going beyond thoughts, feelings, basically to reach another level of consciousness. And I had some really nice experiences. I felt like I was very developed consciousness-wise. But after 5 years, I really felt like something was missing. And I was quite young, and I hadn't had a proper life as an adult. I never had a girlfriend. I never had a career. I only went to school, basically. And so I felt like I wasn't living a real life. I think that's very lucky I got to that insight, because right now I understand that this meditation was a kind of suppression for me. I was suppressing feelings that were difficult and thoughts and sensations that I had difficulty to handle. I remember one of the reasons why I decided to move to this monastery was actually I was going through. I was very unhappily in love with a girl, and it was very hard for me. And meditating so much kind of helped me find this peace inside myself, but I didn't get to deal with these emotions in a constructive way. So later years now, after I left the monastery, I discovered ways to approach these difficult emotions again and process them in other ways. And that's where mindfulness comes in. So for me, mindfulness is many things. But when it comes to stress management, mindfulness is a way to basically move from this fight or flight state to the rest and digest state, from the sympathetic response to the parasympathetic response. But that's not the whole picture. But since this is a webinar series about stress management, I'm going to focus on a little bit on the stress management part. So there was this Chinese medicine teacher that recently said that most of us, we almost never fall below a level of fight or flight state that we are in. We almost never leave, we almost always have this low level of stress, low level of fight or flight in us because of the way the world works nowadays. There's always not enough time, there's always crisis everywhere, and we are out of touch with nature, and we don't get enough into the state of rest and digest. I hope you have some agree with that to some extent. Please comment in the chat or speak up if you have any reflections on that or questions. What's your experience? Do you experience, how much of the time do you experience that you are in fight or flight, even at a very low level? For me, I can relate to that very much, that there's always a kind of inner stress for me. Maybe I'm extra stress sensitive, but even though I'm on the surface, I seem really calm and in a meditative mood. I think that's just something I learned through doing so much meditation. I learned to, at least outwardly, come into a meditative state, but I was also suppressing a lot of things at the same time. So that was leading to this constant inner stress. Lana says she's enough with the rest and digest. That's great. Okay, so mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness, to me, is the practice of being present and fully engaged with whatever we are doing or feeling or thinking, and especially body sensations. Body sensations are an excellent way to be more mindful. If you can feel our body sensations, then we can kind of get in touch with things that are not necessarily conscious. We can be present with our unconscious side or subconscious. And to be in that state where we're present and mindful is very precious. It's very precious. It's healing at a very deep level, and we can enjoy the moment without being distracted. But nowadays it's quite normal to be distracted and judge things, trying to figure out things. That's something that happens all the time. But the trick is to get back to this state of mindfulness, where we are kind of are aware of our thoughts and feelings without getting too much caught up in them. For example, if someone is upset or angry, that's usually like an automatic reaction. and the whole body reacts as well in the corresponding way, and it feels bad usually. And some people seem to be able to come back to emotional balance pretty quickly, but for other people it takes longer. And what is it that makes it easier and quicker to come back to balance? For me, it means if you're able to just be with whatever is there, even though it's negative and feels bad, that opens the possibility to come back to in a balance quickly. So we can improve this ability to come back to an inner balance through mindfulness. It's basically it's very much a habit and an attitude of how we relate with our inner experiences. So and that's very useful, because when we can do that, we can understand ourselves better, what is going on in the moment, and we're not reactive, and we can use our wisdom and not be so controlled by our automatic usual thoughts. And when we can do that, instead of being reactive, we can be proactive, and we open up for new thoughts, new solutions, and new ways of being and acting, and kind of go outside our comfort zone. And my own journey of coming more to grips with mindfulness involved many different paths and techniques. One of the first ones after I stopped meditating was the Sedona method, which was founded by Lester Levinson, who kind of got enlightened, Lester Levinson was basically on his deathbed, and he realized he couldn't do anything. The doctors gave him 3 months to live, and he realized he just had to let go of everything he had known so far, and let go of all the usual ways of thinking, his usual emotions, negative emotions especially, and just welcome the present moment as it is, without resistance. So Sedona method is something he developed and or discovered, a way for him to let go of resisting, experiencing the present moment just as it is. And when he did that, he actually cured himself, and he lived for another, to a very old age, actually, 30, 40 years more. So for me, that was a great way to actually come to terms with these difficult emotions that were coming up now when I had stopped meditating. I wasn't suppressing them actively anymore. So releasing them by welcoming the emotions, that was very effective for me. And but I still continued searching and tried many other techniques. For example, 3 principles, which is about how our thoughts create our experience. And it's not a particular technique, it's mainly a way of looking at things, especially at how our thoughts create how our experience is. So when we are when our thoughts are of a low quality, then we have a low quality experience. And when we have high quality thoughts, we have a more joyful, better experience. But it's not a technique to change thoughts. It's basically understanding that thoughts change, and they change on their own accord. You can't really control them. And if you let thoughts just go, they will automatically sooner or later change into more positive thoughts. And there is a little metaphor for that. If you imagine someone who believed that, let's say I was someone who believed that buses are for riding on. You know, if there is a bus coming at the bus stop, I have to go on it and travel with it. That would lead me to traveling on the bus every day, all day, and it would be very exhausting. But maybe one day a guy came and asked me, "Oh, why are you doing that? Why are you riding the bus all the time?" "Oh, that's what they're for, aren't they?" No, the buses are for taking you where you want to go. So, okay. And then when I get that shift of attitude and insight into how buses work, then I don't need to get on every bus. I just take the bus that goes where I want to go. And the same is with thoughts. I mean, usually when we have a thought, we take it seriously and we kind of travel with it wherever it's going. But through understanding three principles, we can just view thoughts as they come and don't take it very seriously necessary, and just get on board with the thoughts that go where we want to go. Okay, that's just a little bit about how three principles work. I'm not going to go much deeper into that, but there's a lot of materials online if you're interested. Next thing I came in touch with was how to deal with thoughts and sensations. And we all have both thoughts and sensations. And we have actually around 60,000 thoughts per day. And 90% of them, they are repetitive. It's the same thoughts over and over. And most of these are, of course, unconscious or automatic. So we have all these thoughts without noticing them. And many of these thoughts are actually resistance to our current experience. We think we need to improve something or fix something, or there's a problem we need to solve. There's a problem with how I'm feeling. I'm feeling bad. I need to feel differently. And or judgments about ourselves. I'm bad in this way. I'm not good enough, or I will not succeed with this. Thoughts about the future. That the future doesn't exist right now. The only thing we have right now is the present moment. So in order to really get in touch with our thoughts and sensations in the mindful way, we need to be in the present moment and feel the sensations. And I got in touch with a guy called David Friedman, who's written several books about this thing, about mindfulness and feeling sensations, and the importance of feeling sensations, actually body sensations. And that has really helped me. For example, I was in an argument. It was really upsetting and difficult for me. And I decided then, okay, I'll take a break. I just take a moment, not try to fix things or do anything or change anything, and just feel my sensations instead, and just feel them just as they are, without resisting them or trying to change them. As you know, resisting things don't work usually. As Carl Jung said, that which we resist persists. So if we resist our feelings and sensations, they just get stronger. So by just feeling my sensations, I kind of got into the present, and I could develop understanding and compassion for the situation, for myself and the other person as well. And it led to more connection and resolution. So it can be an amazing thing when you can just be with whatever happens. And often what happens then is that you kind of get the solution that you didn't even know about. It just comes on its own. And that's another important function of this mindfulness. So I'm going to take us through an exercise. It's like a meditation, basically. It's called rest and digest meditation. And this one I attribute to David Friedman, who shared it recently with me. And rest and digest, as you know, is the parasympathetic response, where we want to stay in most of the time. And this meditation is very easy. It's not about doing anything particular, actually. But it doesn't mean not noticing or pretending that everything is okay or feels okay when it's not. So it takes 5 minutes. So when you're ready, just close your eyes and tell yourself to be in the rest and digest without knowing how, without trying to make it happen, and without trying to relax. So without trying to make the stress or fight or flight feelings or very active thinking or difficult feelings or sensations, without trying to make them go away. Just keep saying inside yourself, rest and digest. It's like a mantra, kind of, or a reminder for yourself. Just say rest and digest, and notice. Notice if you're holding tension in your hands or your feet or your stomach, and just let whatever you're holding, whatever you're tensing, let it go if it wants to go. Just notice if you're going away from this rest and digest by thinking about thoughts, having thoughts, worried thoughts, or feeling uncomfortable sensations. Just keep saying rest and digest. And when you notice something that's not rest and digest, just simply return to rest and digest, and see what happens. Just allow uncomfortable feelings, or maybe even painful feelings if you have, just allow them to be there. Don't try to make something happen. Just be with whatever is there. Just doing nothing about it. So I'm gonna let you sit with that for a couple of minutes. So just watch things work themselves out, and how it happens when you just stop trying to fix things. Just allow yourself to be the way you are. Okay, and when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. And please share how that was for you. Was it easy? Please share in the chat. Got very sleepy and relaxed. Myself, I noticed some tensions I was having in my stomach. Probably some worried thoughts about this webinar. And it was nice to just allow that to be there. And I kind of I could appreciate just being with that. Even a bad experience, or something that we usually say it's bad experience, can feel joyful in a way. I'm coming more and more to see that every experience, even stressful, difficult experiences, can feel we can relate to it in a way that feels almost joyful. But that doesn't happen if I'm kind of thinking, oh, my nervousness is not going away. It's the same. I need to use rest and digest to make it go away. Then we're not in rest and digest. Then we're in fight or flight. Rest and digest. We can be in rest and digest even though we're having anxiety or nervousness. if we relate to this feeling in a mindful way, we can tell ourselves rest and digest when we feel nervous. Not try to change the nervousness, just rest and digest with it. Just be with it as it is. So basically it's a kind of acceptance of what is going on right now. For some people it might feel like trusting in a higher power. Trusting in a higher power is a way to come to rest and digest, to trust that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. Then we can also relax into rest and digest. And often when we do that, we start to see new opportunities, even in situations that feel like failures. So if you're having a problem, if something happens in your life, there's a problem, you feel you need to fix it, and you don't know how, you just sit and rest and digest around the whole situation. And just see how it plays out for you. Very often, your thoughts will change. You will start to see things you didn't see before. And many things can happen that we're not even aware of. And things might pop up in our minds that was outside our knowledge. So don't wait to be comfortable. Learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because even being uncomfortable is a gift. I mean, at least you're having an experience. At least you exist. I mean, there is a miracle in all experience. And just develop a gratitude and appreciation for life itself can be very, very helpful. Then you get closer to the rest and digest state. And when you get more and more into the rest and digest state, then you can integrate difficult experiences, difficult feelings. I mean, you might have, as I've had, lots of difficult feelings that probably started in childhood, different experiences. And this is an excellent way of processing that without actually doing anything, and just integrate these experiences in us. And as we do that, as we become comfortable with these uncomfortable feelings, then we increase our capacity to experience discomfort and pain. That's an amazing skill, or I don't know if I should call it skill, but amazing capacity. Because many things are uncomfortable, especially if we want to make some changes in our life. We want to go outside our comfort zone. That's going to help us a lot to be comfortable with discomfort. So whenever you want to do something new, like give a talk, build a new career, doing something that you don't know how to do, get in touch with the feeling of discomfort that you experience in your body, and just learn to be comfortable with that. And using this rest and digest meditation, it's very easy and effective way of doing that. So the moment we go into this rest and digest state, difficult things can come up that we might not have been aware of. The moment we go into rest and digest, often what comes up is discomfort, because we're kind of letting our guard down, and we can experience the pain or discomfort that we've been trying to fight by being in fight and flight. And as we do that, more and more, we can realize more and more what stops us. There was one lady, she couldn't, she had problems going into rest and digest because she felt that there was always something to do around the house that was kind of stressing her. And she felt that there was too much to do, and she couldn't feel happy until all these things were complete. And for her, it was very useful to also add the mantra, I am the source of my joy, to see that happiness and joy actually comes from yourself, from inside. And we don't need to get rid of what bothers us, what is uncomfortable. But by learning to be comfortable with what is uncomfortable, we can experience the joy in just being with whatever is. And this reminds me about a method or technique that is closely connected with this, which I recently resurfaced, called vibration. Let's see. I can't focus. It's called vibration. It's something that I actually got in touch with already in the 90s. And it's a kind of mindfulness method similar to this, but there you use the breath as well. You feel this uncomfortable sensation, whatever comes up. So you can use this in different situations that you find stressful or difficult. And just feel the sensations in the body and use your breath to move through them. So that's, if you want to go deeper into this, I suggest this technique, vibration. I'll type it in the chat. It's actually not mainly a breathing technique. It's mainly mindfulness exercise where you learn to enjoy uncomfortable feelings. It's about enjoying the present moment just as it is. And one aspect of that is, as I said, that the present moment is precious. It's a present from from existence. To have this present moment, it's actually everything that we have. So it's really something to be grateful for, our present moment, irrespective of how it feels, how we experience it. So I urge you to practice this frequently, daily, in different circumstances where you feel you could have more rest and digest, you could feel more joyful. And just notice your thoughts, just observe them. Notice your physical sensations and observe them as well, without judgment. And as you do that, as you notice your thoughts and sensations, you can also pay attention to your breath. How are you breathing when you think about this problem? If you're shallow, if you're breathing shallow, then you're kind of suppressing some kind of feeling, some difficult feelings you might not even be aware of. So if you notice that you don't feel much, or you would like to integrate this difficult feeling more, experiment with breathing deeper. That will bring more energy through the body and will make you more aware of the body sensations that you're having. On the other hand, if the body sensations and feelings are too uncomfortable, then you can try to breathe more shallow. But don't slow down the breathing too much, because then you might get too sleepy to be aware of your sensations. So that's something you can do several times a day. Another variation of this meditation that we just did, something that I do sometimes. It's also very effective. It's even simpler than rest and digest. Sometimes it's enough just to sit and do nothing. Actually, not repeating anything to myself, not thinking anything, not doing anything about anything. Just sit there, maybe with closed eyes, and I just feel whatever I feel, allow the thoughts go the way they go, and just observe everything. I mean, that's something we do without doing anything. You just experience things automatically. So just allow yourself experience whatever you experience in the way you do. And I find that can also have amazing effects of giving me solutions when I'm thinking about the problem and I don't know how to solve it. It's like I'm stuck. I can't see a way out. Just sitting there and doing nothing and just observing whatever thoughts come, whatever feelings, whatever sensations. Almost always that leads to a kind of shift where I suddenly see more clearly, and another way becomes visible to me. Maybe not the solution I thought I would find, but there is definitely a shift happening and I can go forward with it. So just observe your thoughts. Don't take them seriously. Just allow them rolling around in your head, basically, the way they roll. Or if you want to be a bit more active, you can kind of pretend that you're rolling the thoughts around or bouncing them in your mind, and just see how the body responds to that. Okay. So one more little exercise, which is also kind of quite neat. Also another mindfulness exercise, which kind of shows the role of thoughts and sensations. So see if you can remember or think about the situation that feels a bit stressful. Think about the stressful situation or something that makes you feel anxious or tense. And when you have something, just take your hand and feel into your body and kind of put your hand where you feel the sensation in the body. What happens in the body when you think these anxious thoughts? So can you feel it? For example, now I'm thinking about, oh, I need to help my mom with her problems with it's a problem I can't seem to fix when she likes TV a lot and they're going to shut it down. And I don't know how to fix that. Okay, I feel it in my chest. And now when you feel it in the body, just continue feeling that. Don't go back to the thought, just feel the body sensation there and have your hand there where it is, or point your hand to where it is. And now just follow the body sensation like a guide. Let the body sensation guide your hand. Because what happens after a while is the body sensation changes a bit, or it moves to another place. Maybe just a short distance or whatever. Just allow it to move wherever it goes. And your hand follows. Let the hand follow. And just allow this body sensation move wherever it wants to go. And after a while, you will notice that the sensation shifts. Usually it kind of gets more faint, kind of starts fading away. Or there's a new one coming up. If there's a new one coming up strongly, it's usually because there's some more thoughts, more stressful thoughts about this or another situation comes up. So if that happens, just put your hand there where it comes up. Always come back to the body sensation if you start thinking. Okay, so after a while I notice now that the sensation is almost gone. It's like, wow. And now I feel, yeah, it feels different. And when I think about the situation now, it, I don't know, doesn't feel like such a big problem. It feels like, oh, it's going to sort itself out. So this shows us that the body sensation is kind of a way of getting us untangling us from the thought, the stressful thought that keeps us trapped. That's kind of the function of the body sensation, is to get us back to the present moment and opening up our thinking again to new possibilities. So, seems like are you there? Seems like the participants have disappeared. Okay. Yeah, we're coming to the end of the hour. And just want to say that I hope you find this useful. And remember to do the rest and digest meditation. It's a mini meditation. You can use it anytime. Just tell yourself, don't try to change anything. Just say it to yourself and see what happens. And I'm offering mentoring and stress coaching for those who are interested. And please contact me to see what we can do. And please let me know in the feedback what you thought. And I wish you a nice evening. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Stopping recording.